I'm Paul Peterson. Welcome to Aging Well in LA. Today we are going to take an in-depth look at the problem of elder financial abuse, a disturbing facet of growing old in Los Angeles. Too often this financial abuse comes at the hands of those closest to us, family members, caregivers, not to mention unscrupulous contractors and scam artists. Steps are being taken on many levels to deal with this growing problem. Steps at every level of government. Mandatory electronic deposit of federal checks is coming on the 1st of May, 2013. Financial abuse specialists are on call and ready to deal with monetary abuse when they are notified, and that's where you come in. Please stay tuned to Aging Well in LA to learn about the many ways to protect our elders from losing their financial security, and how to help them avoid the traps that too many of our vulnerable seniors fall into. We'll be right back. You've heard the expression, the graying of America. Our senior population is large and growing. The Los Angeles Department of Aging helps coordinate the city's efforts to combat the financial and emotional abuse of seniors. The City of Los Angeles is making available a City Services Card, which will enable City of Los Angeles residents to receive access services. We visited with Deputy Mayor Larry Frank. I'm excited to hear about this City Services Card.
Yeah, no, in 2013,
Yes.
we're going to be rolling out a very innovative idea, which is a card that's going to have several purposes. It will have with it a library card, which you can get in a library, but it'll be easy accessible. It'll have with it a prepaid debit card,
An important
low-cost
feature.
prepaid debit card, and it will also have an ID function.
Well,
so people will be lining up around the block to get these pieces together in this
Well,
card.
and I think it's wonderful. I don't think people understand how large the population is
Yeah.
that needs services like this.
Yeah.
It's not just an immigrant population.
Yeah.
Many seniors don't carry ID.
Yeah, no, it's quite remarkable. What happens is people end up losing their license,
Yes,
the driver's license
of course.
privileges, and they don't get around to figuring out how to get the California ID card. And then there are many people that aren't eligible for the California ID card as well.
Exactly. Now, it's
Yeah.
important for people to know this does not permit you to vote.
Nope.
This is not a driver's
No, it's
license,
not.
but it is your personal ID.
Yeah.
And welcome in libraries, as you said.
Yeah.
Well, I love the direct deposit
Yeah.
feature, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So many people have trouble with the mail checks being stolen.
So you probably have heard this, but there are about 200,000 households in the city of LA that are completely unbanked.
Unbanked.
Right,
Wow.
which means they use cash, and if they get a check, they go to a check cashing
And that
facility.
costs them 8% or 6%, whatever it is.
According to the Brookings Institute, in the course of a career, the average person who uses the cash economy,
Right.
it costs them about $40,000 extra. Yeah.
That's too much money.
Yeah, and it's money that's hard-earned, and it's it's a major need for that
Right.
population.
And when you lose
Yeah.
the cash, you don't recover it.
Yeah,
But with
so
this
it's-
debit card,
yeah.
it's possible to say, okay, we cancel that and return your funds to you.
Absolutely, it's FDIC insured, it's working with the banking community, it's a very easy access system for those that are unbanked. And we
Yeah.
hope to penetrate that population in a
Well,
major way.
I sure hope so. Now,
Yeah.
will we be able to integrate the city service card with some of the other features, our metro lines, et cetera?
So we're actually in conversations with MTA right now. They're extremely excited about how to put a tap card. So
Yes.
we are going to have the card, will have the chip inside of it.
Outstanding.
It maybe will be not in the first run that we actually activate it, but we're looking to have a tap card that connects up to the prepaid debit card as well.
Well, it just makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
And people don't have to live in the shadows. They should be integrated into
yeah,
the
yeah.
economy.
Yeah. So the additional feature we're looking to have
Yes.
is we have what's called an LARX card.
LARX.
Yeah,
You
and
had
it's-
mentioned this to me.
Yeah, so it is a bulk purchase pharmacy card.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have been able to save about $70 every 2 months.
Wow.
As I fill one of my prescriptions.
Sure.
So if it benefits me, I have to believe it benefits a large part of LA's population.
Now, will caregivers be able to bring the senior to, or get them online to fill out all of the material?
What will happen is we're going to work with nonprofits around
Very
Los
good.
Angeles.
Good.
We have to be able to take a photo. We are going to need identification, so some government-issued ID card
I
from
see.
somewhere. It doesn't have to be, it could be a passport from another country, for
Right.
example. But it has to be a government-issued ID card, and then proof of residence.
Right.
Which will be, a utility bill, a cell phone bill, something
Right.
like that. And we would send the card to that particular location.
To that address, and
To
then
that
the
address.
person has this. I also like the library function.
Yeah.
The idea that someone can go like the Reardon Library and sit
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
and self-educate, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, now I'm welcome here.
Well, so libraries are quite honestly struggling to make sure they enter the digital age.
Right.
In some ways, they're a collection of books for how people look at them. It's kind of an analog environment, and young people aren't seeing books the way we see books.
Right.
They don't
No,
have
they
the
don't.
great pleasure of holding a book in their hands.
No, it's the Kindle and the notepads and
Yep.
the rest, yes.
But libraries are entering the digital age, and
Yes.
so there are many services. So literacy services are really a big piece of what's happening in our libraries right now, and then financial literacy, which we are going to be able to apply for a number of foundation grants to be able to bring financial literacy, attach it to the city service card.
Now,
as
that's
we
a
roll it
wonderful
out.
idea. So, because money's the way we keep score.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
help educate people about, savings programs and life insurance
Yeah,
programs.
yeah.
So we're going to have dozens of points of contact in
Yeah.
people's everyday life where this city service card will
Yeah.
be really useful.
So a city where, quite honestly, we just passed New York as the largest or the safest big city in
Oh.
America. We're going to be even safer as we go to try to protect additional vulnerable populations, right? Those that are unbanked, those without identification. Just having an ID, you're much more willing to actually go to the police and report,
Right.
right?
Whether it's
There-
happened to you or you witness something happening to someone else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're looking at all the innovations that be able to bring both safety to our community as well as efficiency in terms of how they're actually able to
Well,
operate. in that
it's a wonderful
LA
program.
economy.
I'm so pleased. Now, the city council has approved this.
Yes.
So we are stepping forward into,
Yep.
my goodness, the modern age in 2013.
Exactly.
Senior crime prevention is a growing concern for our Los Angeles Police Department. Prevention beats intervention every time. There is a lot that seniors and their caregivers can do to help protect themselves. We're here at police headquarters visiting with Commander Andrew Smith. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for coming by.
This is such an important topic for our senior community because there's many varieties of identity theft and financial abuse. Can you give me kind of an overview of how the department is handling crimes against seniors?
Well, we take it very seriously because we recognize that, first of all, seniors, many of them have limited incomes and are on fixed incomes, so it affects them particularly when they become victims of identity theft.
Right.
Second of all, we recognize that this identity theft and these types of frauds is a growing type of crime. As we're seeing fewer and fewer violent crimes against people, fewer and fewer robberies and fewer burglaries and whatnot, we're seeing more and more commercial type of crimes, identity theft, types of fraud, people taking people's, making credit cards, taking people's mail. So we're seeing more and more of that. So
Right.
we're fighting it every chance we can.
Well, I worry about the mail part of this because so many of our seniors, they have lived with the post office and mail delivery at home and don't recognize that that is a point of contact where a criminal can get their social security number, all sorts of banking information.
Yeah, it is a problem. A lot of times people don't realize that if they leave their mail in the mailbox for a long period of time, it's very easy for someone to come by, pop open the mailbox, and take what's ever in there. Oftentimes we'll find a crook in the field in his car, and in his car next to him is a stack of mail from 15 different people. So we have to go through all that. And they'll go through it, look for clues or anything that they can use to take money from these individuals.
And what about these front door scams where someone comes knocking on your door and says, well, I'm with the city or I'm with DWP? That's got to be very crazy making for seniors.
It's a problem that we have more and more. People will come up to the front door with some type of a fake badge or a plastic or orange vest, walk up and say, hey, I'm from the gas company, we got a report of a leak, I have to check the back of your house. Seniors or anybody can fall victim to that. Two people walk in, one pretends to look at the gas fittings or looks at the stove, the other one is in the living room and runs to the bedroom and takes all the stuff.
Starts ransacking the house.
Exactly. And let me ask you this, don't you think, what room do they go to first? Where do most people, including seniors, keep all their valuables?
Probably in the bedroom.
In the master bedroom. That's the first place they go, and they go right to the dresser.
Top drawer.
Top drawer of the dresser or right on top of it. And I bet everybody has something on there.
Well, I'm sitting here nodding my head knowingly saying, okay, better change that spot. Now, you've actually created a pamphlet, and you have, of course, an online presence to help people at least become familiar with some of the things they can do. And I see one right there.
Yep. This is a copy of our identity theft pamphlet. It was updated last year.
Yes.
And it tells everybody what happens and what you can do to not only prevent identity theft, but to take action in the case you're the victim of identity theft. This is also available online on lapdonline.org. And just type in identity theft in the search box, and it'll pop right up a copy of this. You can look at it right at your own home.
Right. Now, Commander Smith, so many people are intimidated by the idea of interfacing with police. Yet the process to report financial abuse or a crime against a senior is really pretty straightforward, isn't it?
It really is, and people shouldn't be intimidated to come to the police. Many police officers, myself included, have been victims of identity theft. It's something that happens, and no matter how many times you try and prevent it, it's a possibility it could happen to anybody. There's nothing embarrassing about it. It's just one of those things that happens. We see it all the time at the police station. People shouldn't be intimidated to come down to their police department and make a report.
Well, and many seniors, I think, when they suspect that maybe it's a family member who is involved with taking advantage of them, there's that kind of reluctance to report as well. Oh gosh, I'm going to get my nephew or my son or my daughter-in-law in trouble. Is there a special kind of team that can help a senior walk through this process?
We have a special team of detectives that deal with that and only that. That's their job every day, and they see it from A to Z, and they're there because they want to be there and they want to help seniors solve those problems. So the first part about this is to forget about the embarrassment and forget about embarrassing your family. If somebody's taking money from a senior, we want to know about it, we want to make it stop, and we want to fix it.
Well, I'm looking forward to walking through this process. I understand you're going to be my guide this morning and take us through the process of actually reporting.
You bet. We're going to go down to the front desk of the police station, and your folks in your audience should know that anytime they're a victim, we've decided that the best place to take that report is at their local police station.
The local police station.
So wherever you live, if you live in Wilshire Division or in Southeast or in Van Nuys, you go to the local police station, they'll get the ball rolling and they'll get the ball started there. The next step, of course, after making the report from the police is to contact all your credit agencies and make sure that all their credit agencies have been notified.
Oh, it can be so tedious.
It can be tedious.
I'm ready to go on this little walking tour.
Sounds great. Let's go.
Let's go. Commander, I'm very impressed with this new headquarters building.
Beautiful building. We've been in here about 3 years now, and it's a terrific building for us.
About how many people are housed here?
I think there's over 1,000 now.
Wow. Now, Commander Smith, this is a pretty imposing building, but for most people, they just go to their neighborhood police station.
That's right. Any one of the 21 geographic police stations is the right place to take their report.
I see. And when they check in, the people will know what they're talking about?
You bet. We deal with identity theft all the time. Just walk right in, tell the officer what happened, give him your documentation, and he'll take it from there.
So this would be our first step to report crimes against seniors, correct?
That's right. Come down to your local police station and talk to the officer to the desk. They'll get you started by taking a crime report, and then we can take the ball from there. It'll go to our financial crimes unit.
Do you have one of those forms?
Yeah, actually I do. Our
Okay.
report is right here. What I'll do, I'll take your ID, get your whole story, get all your information, jot it down. Upon completion of our report, I will give you identity theft pen.
Great. Okay. So this is the beginning of the process.
The first stage, and again, you want to keep copies of everything.
Right. Great. Thank you. Thanks so much. The City Attorney's Office maintains a dedicated staff that specializes in financial abuse of seniors. By detecting patterns of abuse and informing the community, the City Attorney's Office is taking a proactive stance when it comes to the financial abuse of our growing population of seniors. We're visiting with Mr. Jerry Beck, Assistant City Attorney here with the City of Los Angeles. Jerry, thanks for making time.
It's my pleasure.
I want to talk to you about the many ways that we can help seniors protect themselves from financial abuse, or if not the senior themselves, a caregiver.
Sure. What we recommend is basically the same information, but focusing a little more on seniors because seniors are one of the specific areas of population where identity thieves specifically target them.
Sure.
One of the things we ask the senior to do is be very careful about this concept called phishing. It sounds like regular phishing, but it's actually spelled Phishing.
Right.
What it means is that it's an attempt by individuals, the identity thieves, to call, contact through electronically, through phone, through whatever means, to communicate with that senior, to get out information to assist them in committing identity theft.
Right.
They'll start out with, they'll have basic information and say, hi, Mr. So-and-so, we're contacting you from your own bank, and it could be your own bank. And they're asking, we need to verify certain information, and seniors are very helping a little too much, where they will provide as much information to these identity thieves, just enough where they could take that information and commit various crimes.
Right.
The other area that we're very concerned about is that our seniors are literally one of the most giving group of individual in our population. And anytime there's a major catastrophe, such as the hurricane in the East Coast, or where we have any type of problems in our local area, there's all these individuals coming out with various scams to get seniors to donate money.
Right. This isn't just about like, the painting your driveway.
Oh, no,
These
no.
are sophisticated operations.
Sure, sure. Is as unsophisticated or unsophisticated as individual knocking on the door and say, would you like to donate?
Right.
Or those who are at the grocery store, or even more sophisticated by using phones or even television ads.
Right.
Everyone sort of jokes around saying what you see on the internet or on TV has to be true.
Yeah, and of course we know it's not. But now that mailbox, which seniors have lived with their entire life, that can be a danger area as well, correct?
Oh, sure. What goes on is that there's so many pieces of mail that's going in and out of that mailbox.
Yes.
And a lot of these seniors live in single-family residences in the suburbs where the mailbox isn't protected. It's not locked. So anytime an individual raises that little flag on the mailbox to notify our postal delivery person, carrier, to pick up that mail, you're inviting thieves to actually drive by and open that mailbox
Right.
and take what's in there. And you're talking about checks, you're talking about personal identifying information, you're talking about a whole list of valuable information that's being targeted.
Now, I used to get beat up by my children for being old school. I want the check in the mail so I can take it down and deposit it. And they have told me that, Dad, you got to use the electronic means of deposit because it's the safest.
That's actually true because what happened, anytime you have delivery with the Postal Service, if there's for example, a natural catastrophe, that mail is going to be delayed. Or you have individuals who's targeting those mailboxes to steal that piece of mail. You have those problems as well. Direct deposit is probably one of the safest way to make sure that the money is received into the rightful account holder.
Now, what about those seniors who make use of the check cashing services? I always have shaken my head at that thing. You're paying an awful lot of money for very little real service, and the threat's genuine.
The average check cashing places will charge somewhere between 1 to 6% of the face value of that particular check, and there's typically a minimum fee they will take, or it could be on a flat scale service. either way, you're talking about a good chunk of money that's going into servicing that particular check and not necessarily for the value of the check. So we recommend seniors, and I think the government is interested in moving the seniors into some sort of banking accounts.
Well, that makes sense. Now, for a family member who has taken the job of caring for an elderly person on their shoulders, is there a source of information, a place where a person can call and get some good advice when they're concerned about their parents', well, say their banking affairs or their tax status?
Sure. You have various governmental agencies that provide that information. I think the City of Los Angeles has the Department of Aging will have
we
that
do.
information.
Yes.
There's also with the LA County Department of Consumer Affairs that provide that information. And as well, there's plenty of information on the internet. But the most important information that should be reviewed is if you're dealing with seniors or you're dealing with your parents who are relying on caregivers to provide them with everyday services, that particular caregiver, whoever they are, who's employed by whatever agency, is really scrutinized in terms of individuals has to do some sort of due diligence to make sure that particular caregiver is someone who's reputable, someone who's credible, and someone that they can trust. Because the biggest identity thieves that target seniors are typically, you're not going to believe this, these are family members, friends, and caregivers. Those who are close to the seniors, those individuals that the seniors entrust to be honest with them. The federal government is really transitioning individuals, especially those individuals receiving government benefits, from receiving it in the mail where it could be lost or it could be delayed through weather conditions to either direct deposit or some sort of debit card. And it's a much safer process.
And when will this new program begin?
It will begin March 1st of this year. And we think this is a great program to protect the seniors and to ensure that the monies are, the funds are delivered accurately and to the right
Now,
destination.
you mentioned a figure. This will save a significant amount of money for the government, too.
I think they did a government study and it indicated $1 billion for the next 10 years.
Wow.
So that's an incredible amount of savings for a shift in delivery system.
Right.
Right.
It sure is. Again, thank you.
Appreciate it.
The Family Source Centers recently completed their first year of service to our low-income senior community. I'd like you to meet Abigail Marquez, who is the Deputy Director of Family Source. Abigail, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about our Family Source program. We offer a number of services to families and older adults.
Now, you have some important information for the citizens of Los Angeles. Would you share with us, please?
Yes, we do have an important message for all of our city residents in Los Angeles. All households who earned under $51,000 this past year in 2012 may be eligible for free tax preparation services at 21 Family Source centers across the city.
Did I get this right? These services are free?
Yes, absolutely free. We also offer financial education classes and can help you open a bank account if you don't have one.
The volunteers that prepare the tax returns, are they certified? I mean, do they know what they're doing?
Yes, that's a very good question. All of our volunteers are certified by the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, and they can file your tax return electronically so that you can get your refund in just a matter of days.
Now, Abigail, the real reason we're here is the new program, Bank on Los Angeles.
Bank on Los Angeles is an initiative that was launched by Mayor Villaraigosa. It aims to connect the underbanked community with the financial mainstream. We want to help Angelenos open up safe and affordable bank accounts.
Abigail, the new program, Bank on LA, is so important to help people get into the system and prevent so much fraud and abuse. And could you give us the toll-free number for the free tax help?
Yes, you can call 311 and ask for the nearest Family Source Center.
Abigail, thank you for being with us today and answering these questions.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Financial security also means being prepared for emergencies. On Caregiver Corner today, Susie Rodriguez-Shapiro talks about Go Kits for emergency preparedness.
Hello, I'm Susie Rodriguez-Shapiro, and welcoming you to Caregiver Corner from the Department of Aging. Today's topic is emergency preparedness. One of the things that we know is inevitable in the city of Los Angeles is that at some point we may have a major disaster, including earthquakes. So we encourage people to be prepared. How can you be prepared? Aside from the items that we tell you time and time again to have around your home, we also encourage people to put together what we call an evacuation kit, a GO kit. It starts with a small backpack like this, which can also be the old backpack of one of your children or grandchildren. And you fill it with a few items so that then this goes over your shoulders, leaving your hands free. Inside of this kit, we encourage you to have a few items. 7-day pill box, so that you have a supply of your personal prescription medications for at least the first 7 days of that emergency. When you evacuate, you have them with you. We also encourage you to have an individual-sized bottle of water, so that throughout that period, you can still continue to take your medications as you need to, when you need to. In addition, you should also have an emergency blanket. This small little packet actually folds out to be a very large blanket that will keep you hot or cold, depending on what you need. The file of life is something that you should always have around you and with you. You can call the Department of Aging at 1-800-510-2020. Again, that's 800-510-2020 for information on how to get a file of life for yourself. On top of that, we recommend that you also have a zippered plastic bag with copies of important documents in there. Copies of your Medicare card, your Medi-Cal card, copies of your homeowner's insurance, your renter's insurance. If you're a veteran, copies that show that you are a veteran. All this will help to determine what benefits you're entitled to during an evacuation for easier transporting and processing. Very important is that you also have money in that zippered bag, small denominations of money, so that as you need to make transactions, perhaps to get another bottle of water, a sandwich, any item that you may need, you have smaller denominations. If all you have with you are the 20s that we normally get out of the ATM machines, you may get stuck by having to pay a full $20 for a very small item. That's why we say be prepared. Have small denominations, $1 bills, $5 bills, and some coins. That will get you a lot further. When we talk about preparedness, we encourage you to have the items that you need for that quick evacuation handy and ready to go, so that whether it's police activity, some type of emergency like rain or floods or whatever you might have, and especially an earthquake, you have something in the event that you have to evacuate. We've learned from previous experiences like Hurricane Katrina and most recently Hurricane Sandy that one of the biggest challenges for older adults and family caregivers was that they evacuated without their medications. So we encourage you, have your 7 days worth of medication with you, have simple water for yourself, whatever critical documents you may need in that zippered bag, and some small denominations of money. We look forward to seeing you again at the next Caregiver Corner.
I hope you now have a better idea of the many programs available through the Los Angeles Department of Aging. If you have any question regarding direct deposits of all government checks, please call us at 1-800-510-2020. I'm Paul Peterson. Thanks for watching Aging Well in LA. We'll see you next time.